Hi, I'm Kelly and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute little heart pendant. It's made using a heart bead. You could use any shape bead you like really. I just thought I'd have a trial with a heart bead. Drilled from top to bottom. There's a list in the description below of everything you'll need to make this pendant. Also there are links to my Facebook page, where I'd love to see all your finished work if you want to come over and share. There's an Instagram link as well, and my Etsy shop if any of you are interested in the PDF tutorials that I've made. To make this pendant you'll need 0.8mm wire, that's 20 gauge, and I've cut 3 lengths at 6 inches, that's 15 centimetres. 0.315 weaving wire, that's 28 gauge, and you'll need about 200 centimetres. You need a heart bead, or any bead really, but this design works well with a heart bead. This is a little glass heart bead that I bought recently off Etsy. Absolutely love it. I'll put a link in the description below where I bought it from. And you need a little 3mm bead. Tools, you'll need your favourite pliers, round nose pliers and wire cutters. Today I'll be using my Xuron tweezer nose pliers. I've put links in the description below. They are affiliate links for the tools that I use if you're thinking about buying tools. My round nose are my Tronex tools and my cutters are Tronex as well. And I think that's everything. Let's get started. I wind my weaving wire onto a bobbin. This is a Bobeeze bobbin by Beadsmith. And I've also put a link in the description below. I've put US links and UK links, and they're affiliate links, so I just thought I'd mention that. So we're going to start 7 centimetres from the beginning of your wires, that's 2 3/4 inches. Take your weaving wire. We're going to start with 3 wraps around the middle wire. And then I'm going to go straight over the top, onto the bottom wire. I'm going to go around the bottom 2 wires 3 times. This is just to attach the bottom wire, because now we're just going to weave over the top 2 wires. So come up between those bottom 2 wires. And we're going to wrap 3 times around the middle wire. And then 3 times around the top 2 wires. And that's our repeat. So we're just going to keep working over those top 2 wires, leave the bottom one bare for now. 3 times around the middle wire, 3 times around the top 2 wires. All I've done at the beginning there is just strapped all the wires together really. We're going to keep repeating that, 3 wraps around the middle wire, 3 wraps around the top 2 wires, and we'll repeat that so we've got a total of 8 repeats there, including those 2. So I've done 8 repeats of that little 3/3 weave, and you must keep pushing your weave together as you go. Cut the tail off from the beginning. So now take the weave and we're going to shape it over to the other side, and this is tricky because we haven't got anything to lean on, so you're going to have to just pinch the weave. I'm going to put a finger on the back and a finger on the front to try and curl it around. like that. And then this one, this extra one, I'm going to curve that around as well, this bare wire, and we're going to put our little 3mm bead on that wire. So fiddly to do this behind the camera without letting go of all my wires. Got it. So as long as your bead stays on there, I just want it to sit round there somewhere, like that. So now we've got 3 wires together. Now one of these wires is going to go through the heart, so we need these wires to come down straight. So I have bent, holding onto the wires, I've bent it this way so that my wires come straight down. So the loop is central like that, and then you want the wires to come straight down. So now we're going to weave across all 3 wires. And we'll start with 2 wraps around the bottom wire, then we'll go up between those 2, and we'll go 2 wraps around the top wires, the top 2 wires. That's my dog making strange sounds. And we'll repeat that. So we've got 2 wraps around the bottom wires and 2 wraps around the top 2 wires. So I've done 12 repeats of that, and I've finished with 2 wraps around the top 2 wires. So now we'll position our bead. We take the middle wire at the back and pull that forwards. I'll push the other 2 back. And then slide the bead, decide which side you want to be the front. Slide the bead onto that wire. And then we need to push those back 2 wires flat down the back. So that's what we've got so far. So I'm going to keep the bead in place so I've got something to lean on now with this weave. I'm going to pull the weave out a little, and then I'm going to curve it in like that. And my top of my weave is twisted, so I'm just going to straighten all that up. And I want the bead to sit quite snug against the bottom of where the weave starts. I think that's down to the position of my wires at the back, keep pushing it down. But that'll all come together when we fix it at the bottom in a minute. So we want a nice arc on that weave there. So now we're going to remove the bead for now. And we're going to continue weaving just over the top 2 wires. I'm actually going to pull that bottom wire down and curve it around for now. So now what we're going to do is 3 wraps around the 2 wires, three wraps around that middle wire, which is now our bottom wire. Just work across the 2 wires. And repeat that another few times. 3 wraps around the 2, and then 3 wraps around that bottom wire. Repeats you do here depends on the size of your bead. Because mine's only a small bead, I've done just a few repeats of that. If your bead is longer, then you'll need to do a few more. And we're just going to curve that the other way. Put a nice curve on it. I want to keep that curve nice as well. So pop your bead back in place. And those few repeats perfectly got my wires to the bottom of my stone. It does keep pushing down, so you have to hold it up in place where you want it to be. So you've got 3 wires at the bottom now, 1 from the middle and 2 from the back. And your weave reaches to those wires that come out the bottom. So what we need to do now is, keeping the stone in place, because mine does keep shifting, we want to pull these wires around a little bit just to shape the bottom of them. So they're going to sit next to that one, and I'll have one on one side and one on the other. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top wire and curl that up. The bottom wire is going to go, making sure your stone is pulled up in place and your weave is all compressed. This is getting quite fiddly. We're going to take this wire and we're going to go around the bottom wires like that. So now take your weaving wire, we're going to go over the whole thing to the back. Now we want the wire that went through the stone, which is the middle one, and the one next to it on the upper side. So we pull this one down a little bit out the way. We're going to weave across these top 2 wires. So come up between the bottom 2, pull it nice and secure, and we'll go 5 times around that middle wire. And we'll go twice around the 2 wires. And we'll repeat that a few more times. 5 times around the middle wire and twice around the top 2 wires. So I've done 6 repeats of that weave there. I'm going to straighten it up a little. I'm going to bend it over here. I'm going to curve it around, and I'm going to go around the back of that wire take the weaving wire around the back too. Change my mind, I want to go over the front of this wire. So I'm going to flip them over like that. Because this is holding down that top weave. It would be more secure if we wrap it around there. So now it comes over the front of that wire, and that wire has gone around the weave. I've just slid this bead up to here because I think it looks better in that position. And at this end, where we just got to, I'm going to curve this around and I'm going to add another bead to this one. So I've got another 3mm bead, put on that wire, and curve that one around as we did at the other end. So now we've got all 3 wires all going out in the same direction, and that one still going out to the back. So what I'm going to do with these 3 wires now is I'm going to weave across them, and I'm just going to bend them all around to the back to finish them off. If you want to continue with these wires, you could always bring the weave back up and wrap it around the top part. There's lots of little things you could do to continue those wires, but I'm just going to weave them together and then bend them around to the back. So I'll start with 2 wraps around the bottom 2 wires, and this is to lock them all together. Come up between those bottom 2 wires, and then 2 wraps around the top 2 wires, coming underneath the bottom wire to repeat. I'll just do that a few more times. So I've done a few more repeats of that, and you do have to keep pushing your weave together as you go. I'm going to bend that around to the back. This wire here, I'm going to have to cut that. So that's gone around the weave a few times. I'll just squash that down. And then this weave just goes straight across the back. So now I'm going to finish off these 2 wires. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them quite short and curl them here and do the same there. If you'd like to continue these wires, you could carry on putting coils around this and follow around the curve. There's lots of different things you could do, but I'm going to cut this one. And the other one. And I'm going to curl them around with my round nose pliers. other one. So that's what I've got so far. So to finish off the back, what I'm going to do to secure this weave is wrap around that bottom wire 3 times just to finish off the weave. Pulling it quite tight because we don't want it to slide much. Cut that weaving wire. I'm going to do these wires' ears. I'm going to cut them quite short and then tuck them over that wire there. To make it a bit tidier, I'm going to curl this one around and attach it with weaving wire. I'm going to bend this one over like I originally said, and then I'm going to curve this one around and attach this one as well. We need a short piece of weaving wire. Wrap around that short wire a few times just to attach it. Then I'll go through the middle of the wires. Bit fiddly to do this behind the camera. We just want to attach it to those middle wires. So we'll go around there a few times. And then wrap around the single wire. Attach it and hold it in place. Cut that weaving wire. And we'll cut that one a little bit shorter. I'll just curve that wire around. So we need to trim that tail end. So with these 2 wires, I'm going to weave across the 2. So take your weaving wire and we'll attach it by going 3 times around the top wire. And we'll do our three weave as before. So 3 times around the top wire and then 3 times around both wires. And we'll repeat that a few more times. So I've done 5 repeats of that, and then I'm going to take this wire, curve it around, and then I'm going to carry on coiling on this top wire. And I guess to here, I'm going to attach them together, 2 wraps, then I'll carry on adding coils to that top wire. I cut this weaving wire, I'm going to leave a short tail. And this wire, I'm going to cut it a bit shorter. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to curl it around. A big curve. I want a big shape on this one. And I'm going to attach my weaving wire to the inside of that curl and these two wires to hold it in place. So I'm going to need a short piece of weaving wire. And I'm going to go between these three wires. That was going to be super fiddly, so I did it off camera. What I did was I wrapped around, pull the whole thing away from the stone a little and wrap around the bare wire, and then I went around the two wires, and then I've wrapped around that curl again, so it's all attached there. So I can cut off those tail ends now. And I'm just going to curl that wire around nice and tight. Just got a little curl on that one just to finish it off. And this one I'm going to curl the other way. Not much wire left there. You can do whatever you want with these wires on the back. Like I originally said, you can just post them over this middle wire if you want to, just to secure it and finish it off. I thought I'd make a fuss of the back. Not very often we make the back look pretty. Just gone around that middle bit and then back around the bare wire. Cut off that tail. Flatten it down. And then I shall curl that last one around. Oops. And that little curl. Just made the back look quite pretty. Another tail here that needs cutting off. Always try and give the tails a pull before you cut them so they're nice and tight. There we have it, little heart pendant. One I forgot to mention, we need to put a jump ring through the top there. A jump ring, it's not perfect. I use 1.5mm wire and it's to be about 8mm on the outside measurement. That through the top there. I do love blue and silver, and I thought I'd make this in sterling and fine silver today. So there we have it. I hope you found this tutorial useful and you managed to follow it okay. I'd love to see your finished work over on Facebook, so come along and post your pictures on my page. I'll put a link in the description below. And if you're interested in any of my other PDF tutorials that I've made, they'll be over on my Etsy shop. I'll put a link to that on the screen now. And thanks for watching. See you in the next video.